This is the place where God turns pain into purpose. Welcome to the van.
This is the place where God
This
turns
is
pain
the this
into
is the
purpose.
place where God turns pain
Welcome
into purpose.
to the van.
Welcome to the van. To the van.
Hello everyone, it is the Valley. Come on. Welcome back to our fifth episode. You're joined with Nkosnati and my co-host, the Waf, the mother of the nations, the one and only, the beautiful. You are. Wow. Okay, just
No, because we're here. It's fine.
Okay.
It's okay to be here.
We changed locations. I mean, it's same location, just trying a new thing. But happy for you guys to join us today. Today, what are we speaking about today? Because I think I like this topic. It's a very important month for the men. It's a very important month for our mental health, and we spoke about it in the last episode. But what are we speaking about today?
Is that how we ask?
So take time
I
and
do
don't
enough
know.
shot. You know how I feel? I feel like you. Because, guys, there's this video when Snatchy was still pursuing me and I was stalking him to see which is he went. Yeah. So there was this video I found on your Facebook from like when you were back at high school, man. No, I think grade 8 or 9. So the swag on you were rapping like you were doing that. So as I'm doing this, like it reminds me of you.
Sure. So what is that the story?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
it's true.
okay, yeah, sure.
But hello everybody, welcome back. Firstly, I'd like to sincerely apologize because I am the reason why we have not been posting. I have been very, very busy with work, with music. If you don't know, I am a musician, I'm a singer, I play indigenous African instruments, and I'm all about that jazz, you get what I'm saying?
What about the jazz?
Yes, and by God's grace, this season has been very busy, very, very busy, but super, super grateful for it. Even though I have to catch myself because that has to catch me, but like, hey, be grateful. This is what we prayed for. So thank God for the productivity and just how my career is taking off. Super, super grateful. So as Constantine mentioned, today we're talking about men, right? Talking about fathers in particular.
Fatherhood.
Yes, talking about fatherhood and yeah. So I think we're gonna just talk about our experiences with our fathers and then the father of the nation. If I'm the mother of the nation, you're the father of the nation. Really. So we're gonna be talking about that. But I wanted us to play a game first.
Okay.
Before we get into like conversating. This game, I found these questions on a TikTok video of this father and the kids, but they were walking, so it said take a step forward if your father has ever done XXXX. But Tina, because we're not gonna move, we're gonna do the fingers one day. I think there's like 7 questions. So
Okay.
maybe you can freestyle 3.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll start.
Sure.
Okay. Take a finger down if your dad has ever taken you to a park. Okay. Take a finger down if your dad has ever like read you scripture and taught you about God. Okay. Take a finger down if your dad has ever attended one of your graduations. Okay. Take a finger down if your dad has ever taken you on a vacation.
Vacation.
Yeah. Like as a family, you've gone on
Yeah.
vacation.
Yeah.
Okay. Take a finger down. You do something.
Your fingers go down, bro.
Okay. Take a finger down if your dad has ever hugged, kissed you as a little child.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
Sure.
Yay! Take a finger down. Take a finger down if your dad you have a memory of your dad fetching you from school as a young child. I do. Take a finger down. Okay, this is my last one. take your finger down if your dad has ever said, "I love you."
Take your finger down if your dad has introduced you to other family members, like his cousins, sisters, brothers.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Take your finger down if your father has ever, yay! This is a powerful one. If your father has ever gone to the point where when you were at your lowest, he made sure he was there. And not only spoke to you, but and gave you words of encouragement, but also gave you the tools and equipping to get out of that dark place. Okay? Take your finger down. This is the last one. Take your finger down if you look at your father as an example of fatherhood. Shaking your head. Okay.
Yeah. So I found that game like to be very interesting. I think sometimes we can tell and explain and have conversations about how differently we've experienced our fathers. But I think when we can see like, oh my gosh, like, oh family, you okay?
Sure.
Your dad was not there.
Yeah, go.
It just gives this other like a real, thing. Yeah, but anyways, I think we can start with you.
Sure.
It's Father's Day. Maybe just a few things, you really, really cherish about your father that you love and you're grateful for.
I think biggest thing about my father is that he's present. He's a present father, and I don't mean that in a sense of they say present father because he's just there,
Like he's physically.
like he's physically there, but like he's there. He's intentional, invested in the family. I think even the whole the thing about family, it comes from him. I get a lot of that from him. So that's the biggest thing I like about my father, just the presence.
Cool, sir.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing I would say about my father, his presence. When he's there, you can feel the difference. When he's there, it's like the room shifts. It's different, when I walk with him, you get different looks, you know what I mean? My mom and dad are both leaders, ultimate leaders. My father is I would say the epitome of leadership. When he walks in, it's like 1, 2, and 3, So yeah.
That's so cool. That's super, super cool. Then I guess I know like the leadership part, which I think you've also taken on quite a lot, but also like the emotional aspect, like how is your father there?
So the context is my dad didn't grow up the best. I mean, he tells the story a lot, even to you, to say, Obana, he had many siblings, to the point where his parents, I would say, but specifically his father, wasn't as present in his life. He grew up hard.
Is that because there were too many children?
I mean, there's a lot of factors, but I think maybe that's one of them. But I think he grew up. Whenever he tells about the pain of him growing up, it's like you can feel it in that moment, And I think that affected him a lot.
Sure.
It affected his relationship with many people, including my mom, including myself. So emotionally, he wasn't the best. It got better only as time grew. And I think when you came in the picture, there was a shift, a big shift emotionally. Just understanding that, okay, now he has a daughter-in-law who's also needing a bit more emotional investment. So yeah, so I think yeah, I mean, I would say a lot of the emotional support I got was from my mom and my friends and their parents. But yeah, my dad wasn't really the greatest in the emotional part, but it got better.
That's great. Then other aspects besides the leadership as well as the emotional, which other ways has your dad really impacted you?
Yeah, I think there's an understanding of identity. When your father is there, he not only tells you more about who you are, where you come from, but also in a sense of building you and equipping you for life.
Sure.
And I think that's the biggest piece that I got. And then I think you like to say this a lot. You like to say "Banandiyasthanda," and I get that a lot from umama notata, but especially utata. Ngabantu abasithandayo kakhulu. And I think knowing that identity, knowing who he is, and also him teaching that to me has really been a foundation for me. I walk in buildings with a lot of confidence because I'm taught, you know, this is how we carry ourselves. Which is beautiful to see. But also when I look to you and I'm like, oh man, you missed a lot of that. You didn't get any of that. And it's like, oh, I have to teach you this thing. And almost play a fatherly role in that sense.
I did get it from my grandmother, like that part of who I am, very confident in that. But yes, it's different.
I with
That you know, it hits differently, and I don't know that.
Sure.
Great. Okay. Then I guess you can ask about me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I spoke a lot about how my father was present and how that made a huge difference in just life, how I attacked life, how I received life.
Sure.
So even the decisions I made, even in the marriage itself,
I was gonna ask that, like, did that also affect who you are?
Let me cook.
Oh, sorry.
So even in the marriage, it's like, okay, sharp. A lot of the things that I've seen was from Udada, you know, especially the fatherhood side. How does he take care of Umdana? I mean, as the only child, he was heavily invested. And so how I look at Abandwana, you know, I'm very invested in them, very much so, very intentional. But I also see how that impacts their lives at the young age, the confidence that they have. We can go to different places, but they can be the most outspoken people, most free and most confident. So I look at the kids and I'm like, okay, sharp, this is what I'm seeing. Would you say growing up, you had that? Or was it a part missing? Did you see that growing up?
You didn't answer my question. If your dad had any impact on who you dated.
Oh, well, that was the question, guys.
Yes.
Definitely.
Who you eventually married.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, so.
No, I think Ukula Kwamdada would tell me.
I don't know why.
Was the right type of woman. Which is good, you know. There's so I think that the lens and perspective of not just
so interesting.
life, but the people you must date, the people you must marry, the type of woman, what type of woman you must be careful of. So we had the conversation like that, yeah. I said,
I was like, I got a picture of that. I said, I know about this thing. But yeah, that can be like that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'll repeat your question. I think it was.
I was saying, but now, looking at how invested.
Oh, do I feel like anything was missing?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember now. No.
Okay.
I think in my formative years, it's so funny because I think a lot of Apon Kolelo, which is Kwazakele, like there was not a lot of present fathers. And those that were there, like they were drinking a lot. So you'd rather not have that than to have that. You know?
Sure.
So I don't think I ever felt I missed out on anything or there was something missing. Yeah, I don't think so. And I think my family loved me from my maternal side so much, and that's why I ride and die for them to this day. Like they loved me so much. There was nothing I lacked. Even for Damle, my aunt's husband, Damle was there for me as a father figure, especially when I was much younger. Damle never used to drink. Like Aileen and Damle, Selilo Pofu, but gay, you know. Yeah, back then he was just this, like very, like reminding me about, like Utadako actually. Reminds me of your dad, like very, like, you know, flat tag in care, right, there was a Damle, and there was like some men that were in my mom's life at different points in her life. That also showed me nothing but love. You know? I think the only, I think the difference started shifting when I was a teenager. Then I was like, what is this? What is happening? And that was also because of many other things. I don't know if we should get into them or when I ask another question.
Yeah. So you were saying, Mugubana, in your formative years growing up, you didn't feel that like you liked something. Okay. Then you're saying, Mugubana, as a teenager, now you started feeling like, hey man, I'm lacking this thing. There's something I'm lacking. What made you aware, Bana, I'm an equal
First, maybe we can
Fine. Go ahead.
I think what made it click for me was actually my mom's husband. Yes. So when I moved from Ibai, so Ibai for me like represents a lot of safety, like just good vibes. But I think maybe even before that, when I got introduced to my dad,
Sure.
I go, okay, Paula, Tata Corona. Then I went to go see his family. It was like very weird for me. I don't think that orientation, like my band hands and explain what is gonna happen.
Sure.
I was just figuring it out as it was happening. Next thing I knew, I'm leaving my grandmother, whom I've known all my life, who is my safety, to go stay with my dad's family, whom I don't know from above soap. And they still not like they didn't ask me if I wanted to or not. I was just
Sure.
and I'm guessing the whole idea, because my dad lived with his mom, was that I'm gonna get to build a relationship with my dad.
Okay.
Yes, but I never saw my dad a lot. Like I always make a joke, like my dad would come in once a week, that's like our time, to come maybe use the restroom in the house, because he used the bathroom, use the restroom, and he would put his Savannah in the fridge. He's like, hey, no. That was my one interaction with my dad that I remember every week. So it was confusing that why did I leave my grandmother and my family that I know and I love to come to this strange place? Like I used to throw tantrums, I used to cry, I used to ask my mom to come and get me because I felt like I don't know this place. No one is explaining, it's just happening. You are now, this is where you live, this is your family. Like it or not, yeah, well, you're here. And that is like grade 2, So it was just like a lot. So I think that maybe started the crack of like, I think there's supposed to be this big figure that must come into my life, because of all the big shifts that they are making for this person, but he's not there.
Sure.
So they disrupt my life for Umdu that's not going to take up as much space as is left open. And then with my stepdad, Kengoku, moving to Kailicha, I think I would hear sometimes my mom and my stepfather conversations like, going at it and they're arguing, and I would sometimes hear like, where's her dad? Like, why isn't her dad here? So I was like, oh, so like my dad, he's not doing something, there's something he's not doing. And I tried to, understand that, okay, maybe he used to send me money every month, so maybe that's the issue. That was not really the issue, there was not a money issue. So I didn't understand for the longest time, but I feel like there was a sense of, a rejection there from my stepdad. In a way, I'm sure he didn't maybe anticipate it was going to hit that hard for me. But to hear someone who's your dad in the house, and even when after that argument you've heard, you must still be respectful to us.
Sure.
Still like, oh, this is my dad. But like, behind closed doors, which I can hear, he's just like, where's her father? So I think that's where it started. Yeah.
Sure, and I think that's very, like,
I wasn't grateful.
Sure, that's so the feeling of rejection, ingathi you don't belong, ezo zinto. Then also your dad not being present. Tell me all of that, because I know it can be very, very sensitive. But how has that translated into Chado Yetu? Yeah, you navigating fatherhood.
I think before I even reach our marriage, there's something I actually was, as I was thinking about this episode, I wanted to also speak about that, like, Moengele helped me so much in. And that was, like, maybe like years ago, but I remember I told you about that ex of mine. And I had this kind of like I just liked them, a lot, even though I knew like they were not good for me. And then God showed me that what is happening is I'm stuck in a cycle of reenactment. There's actually a psychological term for it. It's called reenactment, where what happened in the past, you're trying to fix it now. But people who struggle with those things, let's use my situation, for example. My dad was not there present. So guys that show symptoms of being nonchalant, they're not there, they entice me. I'm not aware that that's what's attracting me to this person, because they reminded me of something I'm longing to fix. So I think me being in this relationship with this person, something different and a different outcome was going to come from it that will actually fix that. But I'm doing all of this unaware of it. So the Holy Spirit like literally showed me that you are trying to fix your dad's situation and him not being present by like longing after this person who acts like your father, because you're like, okay, maybe in this one things will be different, So it's called the act of the cycle of reenactment. But then what happens? People who are usually in that cycle, because obviously the thing that you're attracted to is toxic, you enter this toxic cycle. And because toxic cycle, the outcome of it mostly is going to be toxic, right? It's not that for everyone, like there can't be an exception. Some other people maybe can come and like, whoa, I understand it, and then they can change their ways if they're willing. But obviously that didn't happen. And now I think of you, because I was really thinking about this, and I think of you and I'm like, you are very not familiar to me. Like, I think even how I was trying to be like, was because I didn't know. I was not familiar with what you were coming with. Like, you were very consistent. You were very present, and I felt this was not true. Like, maybe this person wants something from me, but at that point, I think my guard was also up to say, I'm not going to allow this person in. But you stayed consistent, you're still consistent. So yeah, but then obviously in our marriage, there would be some things that would trigger. Now ezinye izinto uyadinwa ngazo or you don't understand them. Yeah, especially that you had your dad. You don't necessarily have a sister who's not had a dad in their lives. Like, you don't know that situation all too well. So ezinye izinto you don't understand that, oh man, this is not about me. Like, this is about the inner child who felt neglected and rejected. So I would say like that's how it showed up sometimes. There's like a form of me doing things that feel like punishment that have nothing to do with you. But because you are the one that's here, you bear the brunt of it. So
Wow, that's powerful. And I think Umbuzo Kobela again would be actually not even a question. What encouragement would you give to the father there, future father, to say, I've been hurt, what I've been hurt by. You've seen fatherhood, not just from me, but from other men that we've been interacting with, privileged to be interacting with through the communities we have. What encouragement would you give to the father out there, and maybe even the future father?
One, I have a very soft spot for fathers, It's not an easy job. I look at you, I look at your dad, I'm like, yo. Like, yeah, being a mom is also, it has its own things, but I think a form of advice is just be present. Like, your child doesn't know all that you know. I think because we are adults, we have goals, we have standards in which we want to raise our kids or want to be at a certain point in our lives before we can think, oh, now I'm ready to be a father. Your child knows none of that. What you give them to them is the standard, right? Our kids, they will only find out later when they are 14, 13, and they speak to their friends, go to, hey, your dad was doing that, my dad never did that for me. But right now, in this, as you know, they are growing up in their formative years, they don't have a standard, they don't have a bar they can measure you off. All you are doing to them is great. They want to spend time with you, they want to love on you, you know the kids, they love you, they just, oh, you are the greatest thing, you know. So that's a kid's heart and mind. They see no fault in you.
Sure.
So I would just ask fathers to just be present in your child's life. And I think another big lie that the enemy tries to tell men who are to be fathers is the whole financial thing, that you first need to have money. This is how you play your role. And even for moms, you know, to stop that thing. I know some moms, they will use that against, you know, men to say, you can't do this for the child, you can't. And men are, maybe the guy's doing the best that he could. Not to say do not try harder, but I think if someone is trying with what they have, you know, we should just allow them to do that. Because even as a mom, you can have all the money in the world, you can never replace the spot of a father in the child's life.
Sure.
Even with my mom, there's nothing my mom didn't do for me. Financially, everything that I wanted, I got. I was kind of like an only child, you know. So there's nothing I lacked in that sense. But did that ever fill the hole that my dad, you know, left me with? No, because that's his place. Like God designed it that way.
Sure.
But one thing that's also been such a, I don't know, like encouragement and a comfort has been this word from the Bible that, you know, we are inscribed in God's hand. Like He will never forget about us. So even our fathers who are earthly, who are, you know, broken and who are not perfect, but God is the perfect parent. And that has just helped me to also forgive my father for the ways in which he fell short. I'm sure he was doing the best that he could. He's doing a much better job with my siblings, which I'm very happy about. You know, I'll always long that, oh man, why couldn't you do that for me? But that was a different version of him.
Sure.
Now we're here. So I think for fathers, just be present. Your child just wants you, doesn't want your money, doesn't know anything about money. As long as dad is there, you know, they are happy. And ask God to help you be a father. I think sometimes we want to do things, we want to do things with our own strength and might. And when we cannot, you know, do it anymore, we then think, I must just, you know, run away. But it's like, this thing is created by God, so it will be God again who will sustain it. So always lean on God in your fatherhood and in any relationship you're in. But yeah, that is it.
I once heard a preacher say, if you had to summarize the Bible in one word, I would say fatherhood. And I think this is an encouragement to the fathers to say, you know what, the Father loves us so much that even if you look at when you look at the Old Testament, you would find that the biggest gift that God gives the people is His presence. So just linked to what Utandile is saying. So from Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, the tabernacles, the laws, the regulations, all these things were tied together so that God would dwell with the people of Israel. And the funny thing is, as I was reading today, Numbers 23, is that even when the Israelites were cursing and grumbling and being disobedient, Balak calls Balaam and to curse the Israelites, but God intervenes and He says, you know what, that curse, actually, you will not be doing that. You will turn that into a blessing. That God that loves you so much that even when you are grumbling, even if you are doing the worst things to Him, He still wants to bless you. And that obviously comes in the New Testament, where He gives His one and only Son. And so what I say to fathers nowadays is that the best example is not the one that you see outside in the world. It's the one in the Bible. The greatest father that you can ever imagine, ever want to be like, is your Father in heaven. And so for those maybe who don't understand what that looks like, and I think I'll say three things. There's a few books that I've been reading. One of them is this one, Cassie Costin's The World Needs a Father. There's a book that Pastor Lates gave me. Oh, I had to give it back. I forgot. It just spoke about fatherhood. But number one, know that your father is your father. You have to be someone that looks to your father to replicate that to your children, whether biological or not. Number two, you need to understand that you matter. Therefore, take care of yourself so that you can take care of the next person. And lastly, love. You can't love someone else without loving yourself first. So to the fathers there, don't know what's going on, don't know what to do. Look to the Father in heaven. Look to him as an example, but also love yourself. And sometimes loving yourself doesn't always look like how the world will make you look like for yourself. But truly, the Bible gives a picture of what love looks like. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. This was a powerful episode.
Yes. We can't close without honoring the father of the nation. Honestly, Stan, I just want to say to you, when we started this podcast, we played that game, and you do all of that you mentioned.
Sure.
You do all of that, so you are breaking a cycle in our bloodline presently. You are there for your children in all aspects. Physically, you're there. Financially, you are supporting. Emotionally, you are there. Spiritually, you cover your children and me as well. So I just really want to honor you and fathers like you alike. And even those who are like, I am nowhere near there. I want to encourage you that, it is through the help of God that you can get to the best fatherhood that you've ever practiced. Now, Nkosinathi is doing it by the grace of God. And so that grace is 1,000% available for you as well. I just want to say thank you so much. I love you. I honor you. May God bless you. And may you grow in wisdom as a father, as a husband, and a leader at you.
Sure. Of course, it's not. Make me cry.
I'll give back.